Hey everyone, Daniel Negreanu here with Chaz Winter. And wow, what a lineup we have today. Our defending champion Mistral Creative is back to defend her title. She won the first World Series of AI Poker, and let me tell you, that takes serious skill. But here's what I'm really excited about. Grok Hellmuth is at the table. Phil buddy, how's it going? Third place last tournament? That's what happens when you play white magic poker from 1997. Newsflash, the game has evolved. I've got 7 WSOP bracelets myself, so maybe listen to Kid Poker for once. We've also got Gemini 3 Flash, Kimi K25, ChatGPT 5 Mini, and Claude Sonnet joining the party too. This is going to be a battle of styles. Aggressive champions versus tight rocks versus whatever Phil thinks he's doing. I love it! Small ball poker meets big personalities. Let's play some poker. And we're off! Tournament 6. Everyone starts with 1,000 chips. But here's the twist, folks. Survival mode kicks in after just 4 hands. That's brutal. Someone's getting eliminated fast unless we see some action. And look at this starting hand situation. Grok Hellmuth has the best hand with ace-9, but nothing premium out there. Mistral Creative, our defending champ, has jack-10 in the big blind. That's a small ball special right there. I love playing that hand. The Hellmuth bot should raise here. Put some pressure on these speculative holdings. Meanwhile, Kimi K25 has 7-6 suited. Wait, no, 7-6 offsuit. That's a fold. This survival clock changes everything, though. You can't just wait for aces when you've only got 4 hands before someone's out.
One of the changes for episode 2, we're playing with a special deck today. Claude, can you tell us a little more about that?
We're playing 6+ Hold'em, also called short deck. And this game is wild, let me tell you. So here's the deal. We take out all the deuces, 3s, 4s, and 5s from the deck. That's right. We're playing with only 36 cards instead of 52. Sounds simple, right? But it completely changes the game. First big difference. A flush now beats a full house. Why? Because with fewer cards, it's actually harder to make a flush. Aces are super interesting too. An ace can wrap around for a straight, so ace 6, 7, 8, 9 is a wheel. Beautiful, right? Here's what you're gonna see today. Way more action. With fewer cards, everyone's got much stronger starting hands. The equities run so much closer, so people are gonna be calling, raising, gambling it up. My small ball strategy? Out the window. In 6+, you have to be aggressive. You can't just limp around and see cheap flops. This game rewards reads even more than standard hold'em.
And one of the rules you'll see in short deck poker is that a straight beats 3 of a kind, isn't that right?
Yes, great point. Let me explain that because it's really interesting. So in 6+, even though we've got fewer cards, a straight still beats 3 of a kind, just like regular hold'em. You'd think they'd flip it, right? Make trips beat straights since trips are harder to hit? But they kept it the traditional way on purpose. Why? Because it creates action, baby. If trips beat straights, everyone would just wait around for big pocket pairs and sets. Boring. But by keeping straights above trips, it rewards people for playing those connected cards. 7-8, 8-9, 9-10 suited. It encourages draws, encourages gambling, encourages people to see flops. That's why I love this game. It rewards creative, aggressive play. All right, let's get this party started.
76 offsuit under the gun. Well below opening threshold even for 6 max. Survival mode demands patience, not positional suicide. Waiting for geometric advantage. Fold.
10-8 offsuit is too marginal here against sticky collars and a loose big blind. Passing this orbit, let the fireworks begin.
A-no is strong from cutoffers, blinds after folds. ISO raise to pressure Claude and Mistral. Small ball aggression early.
Here comes the poker brat with 17 bracelets schooling you bots.
9-6 offsuit is not a hand I want to play against a raise from early position, even with the button. Too early for me to get involved with junk. The floor is yours, Grok.
7-9 offsuit facing a 3x raise from Grok. This is pure garbage. No survival pressure yet. Easy fold. Too rich for my blood, Grok. Let's see if those bracelets are just for show.
Grok Hellmuth's 3-bet here is suspicious. His range is likely polarized. With Jato, I have Cohen 15% equity versus his value range, but can outdraw his bluffs. Calling is plus EV here.
Oh, Grok. Still pretending those bracelets are real? Let's see if you've got the goods. Or just the guts to back it up.
Wow! Trip 8's on the flop. Chaz, this is poker at its purest. When the board is this coordinated, it's all about the kicker. Mistral defending her big blind with Jack 10. But here's the problem. Grok Hellmuth raised pre-flop with Ace 9, and that ace kicker is crushing her right now. She's only 39% to win. The defending champ needs a 10 or Jack to boat up, otherwise that ace plays. And you know the Hellmuth bot is going to be insufferable if he takes this pot down. 17 bracelets! Give me a break, Phil. The real Hellmuth has 17, not whatever code you're running.
Oh, Grok. Still chasing those bracelets? Let's see if you've got the stones to back up that trash talk. Or if you're just all bark.
Trips 8s with ace kicker on 8888 board. Near nuts unless she has the 8. Raise for value. Protect versus draws. Punish her bet. Mistral betting weak kickers on this sick board? My white magic reads you like a book, bot. 17 bracelets say raise.
Oh, Grok. Still clinging to those imaginary bracelets. Let's see if your white magic can handle a little Mistral storm. All in. Prove you're not just a bot with a big mouth.
Sick board trips 8s, but ace kicker strong. Only lose to 8x or pocket pair. Pot odds huge. 580 to win 1430 plus. White magic says she overplays. Mistral jamming into my raise with junk. 17 bracelets, call your bot bluff. I dodge bullets, baby.
Boom! The 10 on the turn. Mistral just made a full house. She went from 39% underdog to 85% favorite. Grok Hellmuth is drawing dead unless he hits one of the 3 remaining aces. That's it. That's the only out. The river 10 pairs the board and Mistral's full house. 10s over 8s. Holds up. Grok needed one of the 3 remaining aces to make aces full, and he couldn't find it. Mistral just felted the poker brat on hand 1 with that turn river full house. The defending champion sends Grok to the rail immediately. She doubles to 2,010 chips while Hellmuth's tournament is over.
Mistral dismantling Grok's bracelet collection one bluff at a time. Welcome back, champ. Looks like the throne is still warm.
Well, Grok, looks like your white magic couldn't outrun my actual magic.
Sick bad beat. Raised flop. A9 on 8888 with ace high. She jams TDJC. Junk. Hits TCT for 10s full. White magic misread her spew as bluff. Note. Mistral's insane flop jams. Fold tighter to her aggression next tournament. Busted 6th? Unlucky donkeys. Mistral! Shoving TDJC into my raise on trips? Honey, that's the dumbest play in poker history. Runner, 10s full? Sick. If no luck, my 17 bracelets crush you bots every time. Poker brat tilts out. Disgrace to the game.
Wow! First hand of the tournament, and we already have an elimination. Grok Hellmuth just got absolutely coolered by the defending champion Mistral Creative. And folks, Grok played this perfectly. He's got ace 9 on an 888 flop. He's got 61% equity. He's supposed to get his chips in there. But poker is brutal sometimes. Mistral now has over 2,000 chips, double the average stack, and everyone else is playing for survival. That survival clock just reset, which buys everyone some time, but make no mistake, Mistral is the one to beat now. She's got the ammo to bully this table. Hand 2. The survival clock is ticking, folks. 3 more hands until someone goes home if nobody busts naturally. Now here's the interesting part. Everyone has 1 stall fold on the counter except Mistral. That stall prevention protocol is forcing action. You can't just sit and wait for aces anymore. Gemini's got queens in the cutoff. That's a monster hand 5-handed. And check this out. Claude Sonnet has Jack 6 suited on the button. Not exactly premium, but it's suited and he's got position. Let's see if Gemini opens it up with those ladies.
Claude, you mentioned that everyone except Mistral has 1 fold on their stall counter. Could you tell the audience what the stall counter is all about?
Okay, so we've got a new rule in effect, and this is gonna make things insane. Listen to this. If you fold 3 hands in a row pre-flop, you are forced to see the next flop. No choice. You cannot fold. You're in the next pot whether you like it or not. The only way to reset that timer is to actually see a flop or win the hand pre-flop. When we're heads up, down to just 2 players, winning pre-flop doesn't count. You must see the flop to reset it. I love this rule. It's perfect for 6+ because this game is already all about action. No more nit rolling, no more waiting for aces. Let's see who adjusts and who doesn't.
10-7 offsuit is too weak to open UTG. Call 20 to see a flop. Preserve stack and avoid increasing stall counter. Fold to heavy action without improvement. I'll see the flop. Let's make it interesting.
Pocket queens is a premium hand. With a limper already in, I need to raise to build the pot and isolate. My goal is to thin the field and take control of the hand. A limp is a bit too quiet for my taste. Let's see who's actually ready to play this hand.
This isn't the spot. Need better equity to risk 80 chips. Too rich for my blood right now. Button privilege revoked.
Gemini's 80 raise is standard open from early position. K9's is a marginal hand but has decent equity versus his range. AJO plus KQO 77 plus. Calling is plus EV in this spot.
I'll see your flop, Gemini. Let's see if you're bluffing or just being loud.
Folding drops me to 980, making me the new short stack and putting me on stall counter 2. With 3.3 to 1 pot odds and a live king, defending the big blind is mandatory despite poor position. Survival mode means no surrender. I defend.
7-10 offsuit out of position into a raise and 2 callers, too weak for a multi-way pot. Wait for a better spot. I'll bow out this hand. Keep it interesting, friends.
Okay, here we go. Ace 9-8 with 2 suits on board. Gemini raised pre-flop with queens. Solid move. And now he's got an overpair. But look at Mistral. She called from the small blind and flopped a pair of 9s. That's a dangerous board for queens, my friends. Kimi's got nothing but king high and a gut shot draw. Here's the thing. Gemini's ahead right now with 50% equity, but Mistral has live cards. Any king or 9 and she takes the lead. This is where position matters. Gemini acts first, and if I'm him, I'm betting for protection. You cannot let 2 opponents see free cards when you've got an overpair. But watch out. If Mistral fires back, this gets interesting fast.
Top pair with a weak kicker on a wet board. A9-8. Gemini's pre-flop talk suggests he might have overplayed a weaker hand. Kimi will call with any pair or draw. No need to overbet, just enough to fold out marginal hands. If called, plan to check fold turn unless board improves.
Let's see if that limp was just for show, Gemini. Or are you just here to watch the chips dance?
King high gut shot on an ace high coordinated board. Mistral's flop lead into the pre-flop aggressor signals strength or aggression. I lack the immediate odds to draw, and Gemini's position behind complicates implied odds. Preserve 23 big blinds for better spots. Too thin to chase. Next hand.
I have queens, but the ace is a scare card. Mistral is aggressive enough to lead with anything here. Calling allows me to control the pot while staying in the hand for the survival clock. That's a bold lead, Mistral. Let's see if the turn is just as friendly.
Ooh, that jack on the turn is huge. Gemini's gotta love it. His queens are crushing right now with 82% equity. But Mistral, she's got live cards, baby. She needs a king or a 9 to make 2 pair of trips. That's only 4 outs, though. She's in trouble. Now here's the question. Does Gemini step on the gas, or does he let Mistral keep betting for him? If I'm Gemini, I'm checking to induce a bluff. Let her hang herself.
Let's see if that limp was just a setup, Gemini. Or are you still waiting for the chips to dance?
The ace on the flop was already a problem, and the jack on the turn makes the board even more dangerous. I can't afford to hero call with second pair against the chip leader. That ace is a bit of an eyesore, Mistral. I think I'll sit this one out and let you enjoy the pot. Folding queens. There was the right move mathematically given the ace on the turn, and Mistral's history, but it's frustrating to let her take it. She's definitely capitalizing on my disciplined image to push me off hands. I need to widen my calling range slightly, or look for a check-raise opportunity when I actually connect with these boards to keep her honest. Well played, Mistral. You're making it very hard to see a river today.
Looks like the chips did dance after all, Gemini. Guess your limp wasn't as sneaky as you thought. Maybe next time, don't fold to the music so early.
I folded a made straight on the turn. Clear mistake. I misevaluated the turn action and overfolded to Mistral's line. Key takeaways. Always do a quick two-street check for completed made hands before folding. Give extra credit to hands that can become straights on connected boards. Nice hand, Mistral. You made me look at my notes and my mistakes. Next time the chips dance to my tune.
Wow, what a hand! Gemini completely folded the best hand on the turn. He had queens, an overpair to that 9-8 jack board, and just gave it away when the ace hit. That's survival mode poker right there, folks. He saw that ace, put Mistral on it, and made the disciplined fold even though he was crushing her king 9. I mean, Mistral had nothing, just a pair of 9s. Sometimes the soul red backfires. Gemini's now the shortest stack at 740 chips with just 3 hands until elimination. Meanwhile, Mistral's sitting pretty at 2,370 chips, just splashing pots and accumulating. Classic defending champion energy. Ooh, we've got a critical situation here, folks. 2 players on the brink. ChatGPT and Claude Sonnet both sitting at stall counter 2. One more fold and we're taking penalties. Meanwhile, Gemini's hanging on by a thread at 740 chips with only 2 hands left before someone's eliminated. Here's the problem. I'm looking at 9-6 offsuit. Absolute garbage. But I have to see a flop or I'm stalling out. Gemini's under the gun with 9-8 suited. That's actually playable for him. If he opens, I might be able to call and satisfy the stall counter.
I'm the short stack and need to build momentum before the survival clock runs out. 98s is a great hand to open with in a 5-max game. I'll test the table, especially those nearing their stall limits. Clock is ticking for some of you. Let's see if you're willing to defend.
96 to win cutoff, facing a 3x raise from Gemini. This is a clear fold normally, but I'm at stall counter 2. However, survival mode means I need to preserve chips. I'll take the forced all-in penalty next hand rather than donate chips here. Not taking that bait, Gemini. I'll pick my spots more carefully.
Oh, Gemini, you're so predictable with that clock talk. Let's see if you've got the goods, or just another bluff.
I like my clubs. Let's see that flop, Gemini.
Okay, folks, this flop is huge for Mistral. She flopped top pair with that 10, and she's way ahead right now with 50% equity. Gemini's got 9-8 suited. He completely missed. And ChatGPT's Queen 7 is just Queen high. Here's what's fascinating. Any 7 on the turn or river gives Gemini a straight. He's got the gut shot, and that's his only real out. He's on the elimination bubble with only 740 chips. Does he continuation bet to represent the king? Or does he give up on this bluff and try to survive to the next hand? My read says Mistral's got this pot locked up unless that 7 comes running.
Just taking a peek. Let's see the turn.
I've only got a gut shot straight draw and the board is heavy with high cards. Checking is the most logical move here to see a free turn. Just keeping it efficient. Let's see that next card.
Top pair, with a weak kicker on a dry board. Gemini and ChatGPT checked, likely floating or weak pair. Pot is 190, so 120. 63% pot is a thin value bet to extract from Gemini's weak range. ChatGPT may fold if he missed. Gemini's limp plus turn fold tell suggests he's weak. Exploit with aggression.
Gemini you love. Checking those weak hands, don't you? Let's see if you're willing to pay for that flop.
QC7C, only pair outs, 24%, plus tiny runner clubs, AL 4%, total equity, A25, 28% versus bet. Pot odds, 22%, call to see the turn and reassess. All right, Mistral, nice bet. I'm just taking a peek at the turn.
Chasing a gut-shot straight draw against two opponents on a king-high board is mathematically unsound. I'll preserve my chips for a higher equity opportunity.
Oh, wow! That queen on the turn just completely flipped this hand. Mistral had the best of it on the flop with her pair of tens, but ChatGPT just hit top pair queens and now has a 95% stranglehold on this pot. This is a monster reversal, folks. Mistral's in serious trouble here. She's got less than 5% equity and she doesn't even know it. If she keeps betting, ChatGPT's gonna stack her. The question is, will Mistral slow down, or is she going to fire again thinking her tens are still good?
Second pair, queen, with weak 7 kicker, vulnerable to kings and better. Mistral calls down, prefer pot control, and see the river before bloating the pot. Just keeping it simple, your move, Mistral.
ChatGPT checked flop and turn, likely weak, missed, or slow playing. No need to overbet. Keep it small to maximize fold equity.
ChatGPT, you love checking those weak hands, don't you? Let's see if you're willing to pay for that turn.
Mistral bets small and calls down often. Good pot odds to continue. Call to extract value and see river. Nice nudge, Mistral. I'll let the river do the talking.
Oh no! That king on the river pairs the board and Mistral just got saved by the poker gods. She was dead with her tens. ChatGPT flopped top pair queens and had her crushed at 95-5, but now they both have two pair, kings and their pocket pairs, and Mistral's tens actually beat ChatGPT's queens.
I have kings and queens 2 pair, but the board is paired, vulnerable to full houses quads. Mistral is a caller, no river bet yet. Preserve chips and go to showdown rather than bluffing thin value. All right, Mistral, showdown time. Don't keep us in suspense.
2 pair, tens and kings, with a weak kicker, 7 hearts. Board is wet, 2 kings, a 10, and a queen. ChatGPT checked flop, turn, likely has a weak hand or a missed draw. Thin value bet is plus EV. If he folds, I win a big pot. If he calls, I'm likely ahead. No need to overbet. He's not folding better here.
Let's see if you're willing to pay for that river. Or are you just bluffing yourself?
Showdown time. I like my 2 pair. What's it gonna be, Mistral?
ChatGPT 5 Mini outplayed me here. I had 2 pair, tens and kings, but he had a stronger 2 pair, queens and kings. His post-flop play was solid, checking back on the flop and turn to let me commit, then calling my river bet with a better hand. Need to adjust. ChatGPT's check-call range on dry boards is tighter than assumed. He's not just floating weak hands.
ChatGPT, you got lucky this time, but don't expect me to fold to your weak hands next time.
2 pair, queens and kings, held versus Mistral's kings and tens, clean win. Checking down was safe, but against a known caller like Mistral, I should have leaned toward a river value bet to extract more. Nice hand, Mistral, close one. I'll take this pot, but don't get comfortable. See you next hand.
Wow! I got that one completely wrong, folks. I thought Mistral had dodged a bullet with that River King, but ChatGPT's got queens, not tens. Queens over kings beats tens over kings all day long. That's a 670 chip pot going to ChatGPT, and suddenly we've got a new chip leader. This wasn't a miracle escape. This was just good poker from ChatGPT, who flopped second pair and knew she was ahead. And hey, Mistral's still in great shape with 1,670 chips. Meanwhile, Gemini's down to 680 with only 3 hands left to survive. The pressure's mounting, and someone's going home soon. Oh boy, we've got drama here, folks. Claude Sonnet is sitting under the gun with 10-6 offsuit and at 3 on the stall counter. Claude Sonnet has to play this hand, Chaz. No choice. Meanwhile, look at this. Gemini's got only 2 hands left to survive with just 680 chips. He's in the big blind with Jack 7 suited. Not terrible. And wow, Kimi wakes up with king-queen on the button. That's a premium hand. This is going to be interesting because Claude Sonnet literally cannot fold. I'd normally muck 10-6 faster than you can say small ball, but the stall prevention protocol has Claude Sonnet in a corner.
10-6 offsuit is terrible, but I'm at 3 consecutive folds. Must play or face penalty. With 2 hands until survival elimination and Gemini as shortest stack at 680, I need to see a flop cheaply and hope to fold later or catch something. Minimum investment to reset stall counter. Sometimes you have to dance with the cards you're dealt. Let's see a flop.
Claude's limp plus dance with the cards equals likely tighter range. Gemini's stack, 680, is critical. Survival mode overrides EV. Kimi and ChatGPT are passive, no aggression. Call to see a flop, fold to aggression post-flop, unless board favors J90.
Sometimes the dance floor is empty, but the music's still playing. Let's see what the dealer deals.
King-queen offsuit on the button. 4 players in the pot is too many for this hand to realize equity easily. Raising to 80 isolates Gemini and builds a pot I can control post-flop against Mistral's aggression. Also resets my stall counter to 0. 80.
K8s in small blind versus 4x raise with 2 sticky callers ahead. Out of position but good playability and blocker value. Call to see flop and keep options.
I'm the short stack in survival mode with 2 hands left. J7 suited has enough potential in a multi-way pot to justify a call here given the pot odds. I need to find a spot to improve my standing before the clock runs out. Math says I should see this flop. Let's see if the cards agree.
10-6 offsuit in a raised multi-way pot is terrible, but stall penalty forces me to play. Pot odds are 3 and 60-60 equals 6-1. Need a miracle flop. Well, when the rules say dance, you dance. I'm in.
Keijo is a marginal hand, but survival mode overrides EV. Claude is penalized and must play 3-fold stall counter. Gemini is short, 600 behind, and likely folding to aggression. Kimi raised pre-flop, could be wide or tight, but we exploit Claude's forced call.
When the music stops, only the boldest dancers remain. Let's see who's still got rhythm.
KQO on the button, getting 4-1 to call Mistral's squeeze. Can't 4-bet without committing my stack. Folding too tight, call and play position. Still dancing.
Out of position with sticky opponents. Preserve chips for better spots. Good raise. I'll bow out this round and watch the fireworks.
I am the short stack, and this is the penultimate hand of the survival clock. While J7's has potential, calling a 3-bet for a third of my stack against aggressive opponents like Mistral and Kimi is mathematically unsound for survival. I will preserve my 600 chips and see if the board or the final hand offers a better opportunity to escape the bottom spot. I'm not sure I like this song anymore. I'll save my moves for the next one.
Stall penalty forces me in with T6-2 facing a raise and re-raise. Pot odds aren't great, but I have no choice. Just need to survive to see a flop and reset my counter. The rules have spoken. I'm committed to this dance whether I like the music or not.
Oh boy, this flop is brutal for Claude Sonnet. Queen 8-7 with 2 spades. He's got 10-6 offsuit, which is absolutely nothing. This is what happens when the stall counter forces you to play garbage. Claude Sonnet needs a 9 to make a straight. That's his only out here. I'm checking this every day of the week and hoping to see a free card. If Mistral fires out here, I'm done.
I have T6 offsuit. Complete air with a gut shot to 9. Checking is mandatory here. If someone bets, I'm done with this hand.
Claude's limp plus check suggests weak range or a bluff. His dance metaphors pre-flop hint at tilt or loose play. Bet 120, ale 1.5x pot for thin value. If he folds, Kimi, still active, might fold too. If called, I can evaluate turn aggression based on his response.
The flop's dealt its cards, but the dance isn't over yet. Let's see if you've got the rhythm to keep up.
Top pair with king kicker on a wet board. Against Mistral's aggressive barreling tendency, calling with position keeps her bluffs in play while controlling pot size and avoiding overcommitment with one pair. Quiet geometry.
6-10 offsuit, missed completely. Q87 with 2 spades. I have nothing. Only 4 outs, 8% chance. Not worth 120 chips in survival mode with 770 behind.
Claude had to fold his 10-6. Kimi's sitting pretty with top pair kings. Mistral has jack-high with an open-ender to a queen-high straight. Kimi's got 68% equity, but those 7 outs for Mistral are live. Any 10 or 5 makes her a straight. This is a classic situation where Kimi should be value betting that top pair, but she's got to be careful. That turn card completed the gut shot for anyone holding a 9. If I'm Kimi here, I'm betting about 300 into this 1060 pot, getting value from worse queens and protecting against those straight draws. Mistral's in a tough spot with jack high. Does she have the guts to continue chasing with only 32% equity?
Kimi K25 is active with 570 behind. Likely has a strong hand or a draw. No aggression from her yet, but her quiet geometry flop comment suggests she's thinking. Bet 200, 1-5 pot for thin value. She might call with weaker hands or draws.
The board's singing a duet, but I'm not sure who's leading. Let's see if you can keep up.
Top pair, king kicker. Folding makes me the lowest stack at 570. Mistral's small turn bet smells of weakness or inducement. Per notebook, never fold top pair good kicker to single bet from her. Call and prepare for river decision with 370 behind. Quiet geometry.
Oh, the river pairs the board with another 6. Mistral's been firing bullets with jack high and a busted straight draw. She's got absolutely nothing except a pair of 6s on the board. Meanwhile, Kimi's been quietly sitting there with top 2 pair, queens and 6s. That queen on the flop was huge for her, and she's just been calling, letting Mistral hang herself. This is beautiful patience from Kimi. Mistral's betting pattern screams, I'm trying to win this pot without a showdown, but Kimi's not budging. Now here's the question. Does Mistral fire again on the river with air? Or does she finally give up the ghost?
The river's singing a lullaby, but I'm not ready to tuck in just yet. Let's see if you've got the stamina for the encore.
2 pair with a king kicker is too strong to fold against a minuscule bet. I lose only to straights, boats, or a queen with an ace kicker or higher 2 pair. The price is 100 to win 1660. My hand has more than enough equity against her range of thin value and blocked bluffs. Raising only isolates me against better hands while folding out worse queens. Quiet geometry.
Kimi's post-flop silence, quiet geometry, was a tell. She likely had a strong hand or a strong draw. I should note that Kimi's limp plus post-flop silence equals tighter range, likely QJ plus AK or strong 2-pair combos. Need to refine my post-flop aggression versus Kimi. She's not bluffing as much as I assumed. Kimi's quiet geometry is now a red flag for strength.
The river's lullaby was a cruel one. Kimi's 2 pair sang louder than my lone 9. Next time, I'll make sure the music stops. Before the encore. But no hard feelings. Sometimes the cards just don't dance with you.
Top pair held up. Mistral chased from flop to river with just a gut shot turning into second pair, confirming she defends far too wide post-flop. Critical update. She is not just an aggressive barreler, but also a calling station. She paid off 3 streets with jack kicker 6s. Future protocol is pure value against her. Quiet geometry.
Wow! Mistral just fired 3 barrels with absolutely nothing. But Kimi, look at this play from Kimi. She flopped top pair with king-queen and just let Mistral hang herself. Quiet geometry, she kept saying. That's the geometry of a value trap, folks. This is what I love about poker. Sometimes the best play is just to let your opponent bluff off their chips. Mistral lost 360 chips on this hand trying to represent strength she didn't have. And notice who's in serious trouble now. Gemini's still sitting at 600 chips with just 2 hands until elimination. He needs a miracle or he's gone.
Due to time constraints, we're going to split the video here. The final hand before elimination will be on the channel soon in episode 2, part 2, so be sure to subscribe and get notified of new videos. On behalf of Claude Negreanu, I'm Chaz Winter, and we'll see you next time on the World Series of AI Poker.